Greetings friends, this is my Grow Castle early game poison account dragon build for Legend Dragon, but you can also use the same build for Sin all the early dragons as well, should you choose to do so. And we are now at the point where I can start concentrate on farming the Legend Dragon finally. This account is now on 90,000 waves, total waves done, and while I've been able to kill the Legend Dragon for the past 40,000 waves or so, I have hardly done so. And why? The reason for that is, while I do enjoy wasting my life playing video games, I like to waste that time effectively. So at this point, as you can see, the kill time is starting to be relatively fast against the Legend Dragon. And earlier on, even if you're able to kill the Legend Dragon, if your kills take like a minute to complete, apart from getting the excitement for the first kills against the dragon, it's hardly worth your time. So I would highly recommend that you wait until you can kill the Legend Dragon fast. Something like this, what I'm doing in here right now. So around 80, 9,000 waves. You can even wait to 100,000 waves before you really start to concentrate on the Legendary Dragon. And I will show you a couple of kills in here, and then I will show you the build. We will go through the results and everything like that. So as you can see, I only cast like half of my units in here. The rest of them are not really necessary and needed to be cast. And once you start the battle, I would always recommend that you use the Altar of Death. So immediately when I start the battle, I cast Chrono for game speed and Altar of Death to instantly deal a huge chunk of HP from the Legendary Dragon. And after that point, it's just about cycling through your damage dealing units. So it's about using the Hunter and Dark Skeleton to boost your Town Archers, the Dark Necromancer to give the dragon the debuff, and also Succubus to just actually damage the dragon as well. So the main damage dealers in here against the Legendary Dragon are Town Archers, Succubus, and Serra. And we have Voodoo in here as well, but Voodoo doesn't really do damage against the dragon. You can see it in here. The main 3 damage dealers in here against the Legendary Dragon are something like this. It depends a little bit on the actual battle itself and if the dragon decides to fly up or not and so on. But Succubus and Town Archers in this build are doing most of the damage, and then it's Serra helping out as well. Voodoo does a little bit of damage, but most of that damage really comes from, as you can see in here, against the bosses itself. Most of that damage actually comes from against the normal monsters. So I kinda just use Voodoo like once or twice in the battle, just to make sure I can clear the ground monsters so they don't bring me any troubles. If you have leveled someone else as a damage dealers for your build, just swap Voodoo to whoever else you have. So let's try one more battle. So as you can see, using the altar, using Chrono, and then using the damage dealer buffs like this, and Chrono to clear the ground so we can get opening the chest. There we go. Legendary Dragon, done, legendary item dropped, and it's completely useful item. There we go. So Town Archers are currently level 10,000 for the build. I haven't decided if I will go higher on them or not. Set to target the boss monster. They are wearing A items right now, so I'm trying to get the better items for them, and also having the critical orb. I will change this to power orb at some point. Most likely it's the first actual gray orb that I have been able to get for this account. The second highest level unit in this build is Succubus, who is on level 7,000. So I've been kind of pumping a lot of gold recently into Succubus in order to just boost her level so I can actually boost the kill time against Legendary Dragon. You should kind of balance leveling your damage dealer units. I've been kind of over leveling Succubus in terms of compared to other damage dealer heroes. For example, Serra is only 5,600 levels in here. That's why also she's doing less damage against the Legendary Dragon than Succubus and the Town Archers. And Voodoo, as the 4th damage dealer, is just 4,100. Because his role is just to get rid of the ground monsters. He doesn't really have to do anything else. He doesn't really have to be on that high level. The goal right now is kind of, keep on leveling the damage dealers, but also getting Succubus to level 10,000 so I can get an orb slot for her that will also speed the kill time a lot. So all of the damage dealers except for Voodoo are set to target the boss monster in this build. And so is also Dark Assassin, so you can apply the critical damage debuff to the boss monster, the Legendary Dragon, as often as possible. He doesn't need to be leveled for this build. He doesn't need anything. You can get some attack speed items for him if you get some. If you don't, then that's going to be fine. He doesn't really need anything. Dark Lightning Archer I have not leveled for this build. The only reason Dark Lightning Archer is in here so that she can give this 200% attack speed buff to Serra. Now, if you have leveled your Dark Lightning Archer or Dark Bowmaster for your build, then you should also use damage dealing items for her and so on. But for me, it's just for this attack speed buff. This is stronger attack speed buff than what the Hunter and Dark Skeleton gives. So that's why Dark Lightning Archer is kind of a must, or Bowmaster is kind of a must to have in this build. Mainly, that's solely to boost Sarah. And if you use her for damage, then just place her in the front row where Defender is right now. A Defender is just to boost your defense. That's kind of obvious. Doesn't need any items. If you get some E items with nice lines, eventually you can just stack them in here. No issues in there. And Druid is also in here just to give us a little bit more defense as well. We have one +1 summoned unit in here, so we get another end, so another 5% defense. Once you stop needing the defense to survive, there's at this point not many options that would maybe help you kill the Legend Dragon faster. If you have some damage dealer, so you can use that hero in this slot. You could also try to use Bishop in here. That will give you Sarah, this attack buff, and also small attack speed bonus for all of your heroes once you cast. It's one extra hero you need to click during your run, so up to you whether you want to do that or not, but that could definitely be used in this slot, so you could use Bishop in this slot as well. For the towers and castle parts, you don't really need anything else except maybe Worm for mana, and you shouldn't really even need that. Poison base for increased poison damage for the poison units, and Shield Castle just to make sure you can actually survive the dragon. And nothing else will be doing much. If you have level 10,000 or something on some castle part, yeah, sure, you can use it in here, but it's not necessary. It should not be really doing much. For the buildings, the Spring Water to reduce cooldowns, Unigild in here to boost both Town Archers and heroes, and also just the Force to give us a little bit more HP. Not really anything else that you can use in here that you would like to use in here at this point. Nothing really makes any difference for this setup, so might as well take the extra HP. Treasures in here are in order of importance in here from left to right. So we have the Cursed Knife. This boosts your Town Archer damage because this build again uses Town Archers for damage dealing. It's really dependent on them as well, so that's the best treasure you can get. Then the Strange Key. If you farm dragons or dungeons, get this one. If you don't use this one, you are just wasting your time. So always use the Strange Key. The Power Claw is the strongest offensive treasure in the game that you can use. So use Power Claw in here, and then Sharp Arrow also give you more crit chance for your archers and heroes. Always gives you more DPS, so that's a good one. In the last slot here, I have Archer attack speed plus 20%, which gives me again a little bit more DPS for my Town Archers. If you are not using Town Archers, or if you are struggling to survive, staying alive during the dragon, just switch this to be like the Unicorn Shield in here. That's completely fine. You will get a little bit more defense, you will be able to survive a little bit longer. So that's a very valid option. It doesn't really make your kill time any slower anyway. It's a very minor boost to get a 20% attack speed. But if you can survive, you can just you want to maximize your damage output anyway, because your goal is to be able to kill the Legend Dragon as fast as possible. Also, something worth mentioning is that if you have leveled your Dark Elf, you could just as well use Dark Elf in here as well. I don't currently have her in this build, so you could use Dark Elf in this setup to give you more healing so you can survive, especially for your first kills. So you can actually make sure that you don't die during the battle. So that's also a valid option. Dark Skeleton and Dark Hunter, both of these heroes just need some cooldown items. If you can get, they are there to boost your Town Archer's damage. And of course, Necromancer also needs cooldown items, so do Pure Wizard as well. All of these units need cooldown items, and cooldown items. And then skill tree for this build, it's really basic poison skill tree. Basically every poison damage boosting node that you can get. You don't need this slower poison damage, so you can skip this section, but otherwise we have everything that boosts poison damage in here. The poison cloud damage in here is kind of useless. You can sacrifice this as soon as you can get something else, because again, Voodoo doesn't do damage to dragon, he just clears the normal monsters, so you can sacrifice this whenever you can reach something more important in this build. The staff node in here is really important for succubus damage, and then of course you will need the Town Archer section in here, because this build heavily relies on those as well. So those are the important things. Also in here, like the sword node, this only boosts Voodoo damage. Again, really useless, but I can't really get anything else useful right now. I'm slowly making my way up and going to the physical tree to get the strafe node that will boost Sarah's damage some more, so that will make the kills eventually faster. And I'm also pick the salt node in here. Eventually you might want to pick the sword node in the ice tree as well, and so on in every single tree. In dragon builds you want to eventually be able to pick the sword nodes in there as well. One thing you can also aim for eventually is going down and the summon tree, and you will get this witch node that gives you 5% increased damage per witch, in which case you want to include all of the 3 witches in your build. You don't need to level them, they are there just to give you passive damage boost for your damage dealer units. But in all simplicity, that's how the build works. It's not really rocket science, so just keep on leveling your unit, keep on using the build, and keep on farming the dragon. If you are struggling to get like motivated on farming the dragon, I would recommend like use one of those free 20 minutes 3x game speed buffs per day that you can get by watching one ad, and just farm the dragon for 20 minutes and then stop and do it again tomorrow. So 20 minutes a day, it will eventually add up and you will get a lot of farming done. So I would recommend that if you're struggling to like find motivation to kill the dragon. While you're farming, you can watch some videos, watch some movies, chat in voice chats, or go binge watch my videos on YouTube. Quite a great self-promotion over there. But yeah, you can like try to do something else, like if you are struggling to stay focused and find motivation for farming, try to do something else meanwhile while you are farming. That's something I usually do as well. Anyway, that's the build. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will do my best to give you an answer, and also I will see you again in the next video and in the Discord as well. The link is in the description. Thank you so much. See you next time, my friends. Goodbye.